Islam. So I'm on Britannica doing my studies, looking through the Christian black codes and Jim Crow and 14th Amendment. And what comes to my mind is the same states that was enforcing the Christian black codes and the Jim Crow's laws are the same states that are operating today. Moors rival with active Moors and say that they're anti-government or they're not following what Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought, because Prophet Noble Drew Ali stated, follow the laws of your government. Well, Noble Drew Ali said the 14th Amendment is not needed for the salvation of my people. So, when these states are forcing the 14th Amendment upon the Moors, that's why Noble Drew Ali said enforce the Constitution, because the Constitution says anything to the contrary notwithstanding, and all judges and states are bound by the supreme law of the land, which is the Constitution and the treaty, and all laws made in pursuance thereof by the United States, res judicata, stare decisis. So that batters them up right there. They're telling you to follow and honor and respect the same states that enforce Jim Crow and Christian black codes, because they're saying something is legal or illegal. Well, back in the day, slavery was legal. So did that make it right? You know what I'm saying? So you got active Moors that are fighting and protecting themselves against licenses, against evictions, against denationalization, for giving officers false names, or just different aspects that Moors are calling active Moors anti-government. They're being anti-slavery because, again, the same states that was enforcing Jim Crow laws and Christian black codes are the same states that are operating today. So because they're fighting against the same states that are enforcing slavery, they're calling them anti-government. Again, Noble Drew Ali said the 14th Amendment is not needed. So if the 14th Amendment is being forced upon the Moors, they have to enforce the Constitution, because anything to the contrary to the Constitution is notwithstanding. But you got these Moors saying you need to follow these local and state statutes and codes. No, because again, just like in the black codes right here, it talks about in section 2, any Moor that's caught associating with a European, and any European that's caught associating with a Moor, they are to be fined $150 and a European $200 and imprisoned at the discretion of the court. The free Negro not exceeding 10 days in jail, and the white man not exceeding 6 months in jail. Don't that sound similar about if you're caught doing this, or if you break this statute or code, you have to pay these fines? Now, where are these fines going to? Section 5, be it further enacted that all fines and forfeitures collected under the provision of this act shall be paid unto the county treasury for general county purposes. So they was doing it just to gain finance, to build up their fiat. And just think of all the other statutes and codes and fines and imprisonments that they was creating. And you have these Moors thinking, well, they made it a statute or code, so you're supposed to follow their laws, so it's right. No, it's not right. As far as licenses, a license is permission to do something that would otherwise be illegal. Today, slavery is illegal, but back then it was legal. So which is it? Just because a statute is legal today doesn't mean it's not going to be illegal 30 years from now. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at these dirty Moors warring with active Moors, it kind of makes me sick to my stomach. It does make me sick to my stomach, because I'm thinking, like, on Facebook, man, just say there's 20,000 Bays and L's on Facebook, and they're watching these different links to these videos of these Moors that are misleading the people. Why ain't these Moors shutting down these YouTube channels? You know what I'm saying? Why ain't they shutting down these accounts where these dirty Moors are at? Because I go look on these channels and say they have 3,000 views, and there'll be like 80 likes. Where's the 18,000 Moors that are bombing these channels and bombing these accounts, man. Why ain't you protecting your people? Also, while I was looking up the Jim Crow Christian black codes, I was also looking up as far as segregation. And when I seen the fountain for the white and the fountain for the black, it reminded me of how they began these codes of saying white persons and Negro. It was basically a trick on for both sides. It was to trick the European, because as soon as that European went and drank from that fountain, he lost his identity, because he began to call himself white instead of knowing his nationality and knowing who his foremothers and forefathers were. As soon as he drank from that fountain, his child was destined to not know his nationality. And when you don't know your nationality, it's a fact that you are going to be usurped. Which leads me into this document, Nationality and International Law, discussion on the report of the committee appointed by the Executive Committee of the Society for the Study of the Status of Stateless Persons. As regards the problem of the present large number of stateless persons scattered throughout the world, insofar as they are long-term refugees, the solution of their problem cannot be sought first of all in the legal field. It is a matter of economic and social problem. 3 solutions will offer themselves after the war for the stateless refugee. He will either be able to remain in his country of refuge and legal absorption. The acquisition of the nationality of the state of refuge will in due course crown the process of economic and social absorption. That means when you give away your nationality, in due course, it will crown the process of economic and social absorption. Or he will be re-immigrated overseas, and there he will be admitted like any ordinary alien immigrant who can obtain naturalization, or else he will be repatriated to his country of origin, and it will be incumbent upon the International Refugee Authority of the post-war period to see to it that besides economic rehabilitation, he will regain fully pledged nationality status. Now that's what will happen to the Moors, and that's what will happen to the Europeans who know their nationality. They will be repatriated to their country, which the Moors won't leave because they're already home, and it will be incumbent upon the International Refugee Authority of the post-war period to see to it that besides economic rehabilitation, he will regain fully pledged nationality status. So that's what I thought of when I seen the 2 fountains. As soon as the European gave away his identity and the Moor further gave away their identity, they both was destined to be pretty much dead in the eyes of law. But you're going to have 3 choices. You're either going to want to stay here and not know your nationality and be taken advantage of, or you will be re-immigrated overseas, and there will be admitted like any ordinary alien immigrant who can obtain naturalization. You will be repatriated to your country of origin and be incumbent upon the International Refugee Authority to pretty much teach you your nationality.